Hello everyone, so here we are with Rwby Volume 5, or the Haven arc if you will. And I would definitely say this volume was pretty interesting. You know, during the story we had a lot of heartbreaking and heartwarming moments throughout. But I would definitely say the heartbreaking moments are morely around Raven. I mean, you can see that she cares for both Yang and Tai, but she acts sort of detached or not interested towards them, mainly because of fear. And I'll explain a little bit about that later on. But we did have a lot of heartwarming moments throughout this volume. I mean, of course, we had the dinner, everyone talking at dinner. We had the Rwby morning coffee talk. But of course, the most wholesome thing of them all was, of course, Team Rwby uniting at the very end and them all having a big hug. I mean, that was just a wholesome moment. I really cannot portray it any other way. But what I think was portrayed really well in this volume was the fear that Salem creates and can control people with. Like, obviously the top picks are both Raven and Lionheart, because they both feared of what Salem would do to them if they didn't comply, and feared what would happen to them when they became expendable. And I think that's one of the main reasons why Raven distanced herself from both Tai and Yang, because obviously where she was the Spring Maiden, she didn't want to put them in danger of Salem. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I think. But I think what was really interesting was the fact that the headmasters of all the academies are supposed to be Ozpin's most trusted, and yet Lionheart easily changed sides to Salem. So I think that is really interesting, and I just hope that both Ironwood and the headmaster in Vacuo hopefully don't, change sides to Salem. Now, characters on the other hand, I think all of them were amazing. I feel like I can make a video on each of them right now, but if that's something you guys are interested in, leave a comment below and I'll think about making one, or obviously a few, because we do have a few characters. But I would definitely say that three that stood out were Yang, Blake, and John. I think Yang really developed through this volume because we see her she's sort of gotten over what happened at the fall of Beacon, but you can still tell she's still shaken up by it, and we can see that obviously by her hand shaking, mainly around after fights. So I think that's really interesting. But the one thing that was obviously the main thing was Yang confronting Raven, and I feel like she was a little disappointed in Raven because she wasn't this person that Tai had told her about pretty much more or less all her life. So I do think she felt a little disappointed in Raven, but I would definitely say she had the best development. Now, Blake also did have a good development because now Blake really came into her own during this volume. I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with Wise, I always knew her as the quiet one, but of course she really came into her own, especially during her speech to all the fathers during Menagerie, and of course she had everything to do with Adam, the White Fang, and Ilya. So with all that going on and all that, she really did come into her own and now clearly speaks more now, so hopefully we have a bit more of that during the next few volumes moving forward. Now, John finally activating his semblance was amazing, and I like the fact they made a Pyrrha Volume 1 reference with her saying that John had a lot of aura. So that was really good, and then just John's at-best at the beginning of the fight to Cinder was way overdue. And the fact that he nearly, got her, that was really shocking. But John's really come a long way, I would definitely say, from the guy we met in episode 2 of Volume 1. So overall, I think that this volume was a great volume. I mean, of course, we, finally got a win after the fall of Beacon, so obviously one over Cinder and Salem, so I would definitely say that's good. And we also got the Relic of Knowledge, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more details explained to us in next volume. And that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll watch the next one, which will be on Rwby Volume 6, okay? See ya!